Hi again then guys, and welcome to, of course, another speed tune, in particular a full-on build, complete tutorial, etc. for Forza Horizon 4, this time for a very popular car, it always is, and for good reason, the Nissan GT-R, the R35 of course in particular. This is the 2012 shape model, not the newer one, and the reason why I'm doing this one first is because it tends to be the more popular. It's kind of the more impressive when it comes to performance. I believe, if memory serves, it's also more powerful and you can do more to it visually than you can with the other models, such as the Liberty Walk kit. Now, as far as the upgrades themselves, I don't recall if this one has an engine swap or not, but basically, as a general rule, whatever car I pick whatever the most powerful engine is. So, in the case of this car, just whatever that engine is the one that I've got. If I recall correctly though, I think it's actually the standard engine. So, fully tune it, get as much power as you can, lower the weight as much as you reasonably can. Of course, the wing, the rims, the body kit, that's all optional stuff down to you, just like it is with the paint as well. And then for all of the other stuff, you want to make sure that you have all racing parts. You want your race transmission, diff, brakes, suspension, tyres, everything. Or of course you could go for drag tyres, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because although you are quicker off the line, you do sacrifice handling. So it depends, it's down to you. And if you don't want to do the tune yourself, if you just want to get this straight on your car and be able to hit those specs immediately, then you can get this just straight off of my storefront. And that's super easy, just use the keywords below. Or of course search it up with my gamer tag instead, and you can just be off to the races immediately. But if you do want to do it yourself, do all of the things that I said as far as upgrades go. Then as far as the gearbox, I'd recommend a 2.95 final drive, then individual gears of 2.89, 1.99, 1.5, 1.18, 0.95 and 0.78. Then as far as alignment, of course it's still all-wheel drive, so you don't need much, if any, camber and tow. I've got 4 degrees of caster, anti-roll on 30, the front and the back, springs on 145 and 135. I've opted for the lowest ride height, excuse me, the lowest ride height you can get. As far as the dampers, we've got 13, 11, 6 and 5. Aero does not apply, even though we have the Liberty Walk rear wing, and I would not recommend having the racing wing or the racing chin splitter because you just don't need that for speed. And as far as the diff, we've done something a little bit different, 100% on all 4 for acceleration and deceleration. And the reason for that is because it really messes up the specs if you don't put them all to 100%. Plus, of course, the main benefit is it makes the car just as good through corners, but way, way better in a straight line, given all of the power that you've given to it. And then as far as the centre split, I've gone for 70% bias to the back end, and I find that that's pretty much perfect. You can drift with it very easily, it's great off the line, great off-road, and extremely quick, but still very nimble as well. So overall, that's it for the tune. As I said, you can just pick it up straight from my storefront if you want to, but of course all that remains is to see how fast can it go? Now, the thing about the GT-R is, of course, it's great at everything. That's why people love it so much. And as far as the GT-Rs comparing to each other, I would, as I alluded to earlier on, definitely recommend this one over the newer one. The newer one is more appealing, of course, because it's newer, you'd assume that it's a better car, and some people probably feel that it is the better of the two, but for me, this one's just the whole package. It's cheaper to buy, you have way more visual tuning options. It somehow looks more, I don't know, purposeful than the new one, especially with the body kit, the wing and that kind of stuff. And the performance, I would say, is more rewarding, considering the tuning and the money that you put into it. So if you do decide to use the car, you can definitely win plenty of events in tons of different categories with it. And if you get it from my storefront or here on YouTube, I hope you enjoy it. But of course you can click here on screen to see all of my others and follow my storefront in the game to see hundreds of other tune setups. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.